루기식이스 원 상기 좀 됐는데 다 결국합을 주고 있어요. 뒤에도 주고 내가 서 뭔가 때도 유마킨 상부스 괜찮도스 유마킨 상부 유마 땡겨 완전히 유마식 때는데 밑 탐제 출주 다시 최종 매바 탐제 출주 딱 거기 쉬워지 되네 유마이나 유마 땡도 때 체미체 다시 유마 체미체 저거다 유마 땡줄라야 되네 다시 그 니바사 마서 전부 코페 메기 유마킨 나네다 유마킨 야모 유마킨 배하고 땡게 되가나 딱 거기 삼레스 딱나 점불린 나다 유마 땡게 되네 다 야로도 스트레스 딱 이게 탐정이로 두고도 스타 야모 뭐 좀뭐다 지금 제 수인왕이 된 유마게 된 탐정 출주도 그런데 딱이 상이 좀 된데 출주 둔나 대원 얘기 된다는 다 유미게 되는 유마킹 게 야모 등아 차로 살레스 근데 딱이 상이 좀 된데 그거 다 유마를 루트 같이 지금 예산 그렇게 삼는 중에서 딱이네 거 똑바싸리 상기는 탐지 캠프 캠바래 탐지 캠프로래 근데 그 거기 유마되게 상기는 거꾸로 투명해서 삼네 다이네 따지시죠. 상기라. 상기 유마킨 그 뭐시 회나니 당원년에 니 갈 팸미에서 니 좀으로 쉬어도 팸미에나 그래. 마음에 근데 그 뭐시를 그때 다리에만 컴팸 한줄 컴파우스 나르데 되니 다데 때고게 상기 좀 된다서 제스 다 상기닝이 켈라드네 샤라 슈규스 매샤라 자침부 슈규스 년도에는 단데 코로나 바지다제와 탐제되더니 딱 앞에 두 개였어요. 때 책임으로 코로나 앞에 두 개였어요. 저도 페로치스 내가 제가 말했더니 인공공 색선다 인공 샤라 표기 다 당장 가서 제다 코로나 강통도 막하나 지텝사해 뭐도 나르게마이나 게스모이나 봉스시고 근데 인공 샤라도 뭔가 더 쉬고 말해 야롱다 디선소리 대인데 가나다 인공 샤라디 저기 마정 성반이 미스하고 거기다 되기로 다 그래서 자기한테 상이 좀 된데 코다 제가 탐제됐다 또 저거 샤고선 그게 대상이 개표로지 되니 상이 봉ጽ지 장규 상이 페로치스 그 되네 슈리스 대상이가 디그레 때가 상이 이제 코다 제가 되네 거봐 봉ጽ를 레옹스 그게 자리치살 레옹스 왔다 그러다 상기 좀 되는 것이면도 제가 네 요만큼 마다 가게 된다기 때문에 공수 장비지가 말 상기 다지가 하고 마서 다 상기게 샴레샤가 송삼레스 그게 대네 그거 다 자리치스 완전 나와다 상인 찍거를 바로 탕같이 버지는 퀴찍 유미게 출지 계셔도 아슈크사데 내면도 아사와나 자와 그 수암기 미케바지게 되네 딘나시게 다 된슈게 되네 그런 거라서 셴지 다 서비스지게 오늘 탕같이 넘지 한 레위게 자리치스 다 샤르스 미탐지게 됐tina 이 통과서 뭔 얘기 자리시오 제시하면서 다 되네 뭔 얘기 민망고 시오진 좀 하트네 때 바깥에 상기 거든요 페어스 다 상이 대상이 상기 거든요 그 상기 약하로실라 대상이 약나 다크이디 진짜 거디 나 대슈 상기를 배슈사야 보테는 자라시오자 담지야 때니 샬라 담지 그때 사와다 자와 통이리 푼좀 줘봤다 메시지 약보다 때는 뭐는 제오다다 약간 필수 다 그치 상으로서 야다 상기의 샬라도 최중에 샬라도 최는데 그때 그 유마도 파시잖아요 유마도 시리아는 상기 타가는 돌리도록 다 되네 상기 잡내셔 그렇지 다 그게 디스타스 얘네 그 상이다 디샤트 상기 배워 다 상기 야슈 샤라슈 다 샤라슈 담비다 되게 매기야 그 상기는 원얘기 구십 가만은 그 상기 거다죠 다그 상기가 고마서 얘는 유마해는 말도 불교 말이 상기는 다 그래 다 오게 손삼스 예샤나 탐지 표현이 다 샤라다 상기가 다 원얘기 쳐봤는데 표현이 되네 다 쳐려도 딱 유마시셨다 유미가 출직식 시작하고 그것이 유지하면서 지금 상기 대라 딱 그런 것도 유만 많이 가르치는지 이거 니만 나중에 란자하러 돼. 내 상기가 샤라 탐지기 내 탐지기 상기 뭐 거 탐지기 딱그 직시까지 가지고 그런 깔리 가로는 시기지가 됐어. 내 틱사서 제수 때 상기가 다 상부가 짐바당 와레스 니 다 샤라 표레스 니 고츠 표레스 빨리 뭐가 술지 그랬어 제스 대산지게 되네 대산지기 좀 뭐를 지금 산지게 대산지기 책 살아도 줘서 다 윤모로 산지 가와라 별네 현다 주제 되는 거 같나요 되네 그런 알아서 풍부수를 넣는데 되네 알아서나 균샤 선바도 송다 되는데 산지게 윤을 감을 되가 강기 진단 강라 진세 진바 치트란 미미 바스 진바 냠바 딩이기 상불라야 용조쇼 세티 츠지니 소리 강기 진단 강라 진세 진게 소리스 진사 소리스 진주 강라스 다 진게 상부 코랑 맞죠레스 진주 그 미출기 그게 유마처럼 대야 맞죠 진사가 상기 좀 된데 코랑 맞죠레스 상기 인데 코다니 강기 진단 강라 진 진바 치트란 미미 바스 진바포 상부 코랑야 뭐니게 다시 제발 코랑 유마나시레스 데 거의 불기가 대야 유마다 있다 거기 유마인 바로 상기 좀 되면서 코르네 그 나바 지야 유마다 밀면 다오지레스 강기 진단 강화진 진바치들 미미과 진바 냠바 딩이기 진바 냠바게 튼 코스 미미게 최탐지 라제 동바니 저버도 제베나니 상보 라야 용족쇼 디게와 탐지 상보 유마케 상보 들라고 진비기 기위자와 탐지 상보로 더 쇼치 뭐하지 상기 패션스 이때 대세들 그러나 상로단 때네 상기를 윤전지를 반주 그 유마케게 뒤동동 원이게 지금 사단 유매되게 들으셨어 상기기 뒤 유마케들 어디서 진기람 땡인zen다 되네 그러나 상기기 땡인제게 진기라 오도가 디디디네 그러 미게 통교와 메시지 카라 사교요 사교와 메데 침규야요 되네 차단데 상기기 땡인제데 리바시 모이바 콜레기야 리바시 바임바 땡인제 땜바 땡인제 되네 그러나 나랑 저희나 딘지기 지나보게 또 그때다 저 사규자와 말로 저 산나의 샤르마도 사교 산기기 무슨 때는 규미 크기 정보가 규마캔들 산기기 땡인제 진랑도 그러나 산기기에 되는 쉬는 강세 공세가서 저거야 야 코르탐지 저거야 야 야와 메시지기 대기 기위자와 대야 상보로 뭐냐 상보야 되네 가르바라 뭐내게 되네 나라서 딘바 통하다 타라토비기 규르요서 딘디가 딱 돈다고 치서 그랬어 방금 탐지tin 아신지 나랑도 그 진바니 민출 제작에 찍고디 규마에 상고하는데 돈도 진짜 말했어 규마캔 상고 코라야 규마 나시레스 진비 오버티야 규마 나시레스 진버 제위 지율티야 상기 코르다 제와 탐지 밀도 디스트리트 상기 좀 된게 또예스 디인디가 강기진다 강아지 진바 치들면 진바 냠바 땡이 상고라야 용조쇼 시딘도 너는 빼미 내가 뭔거죠 동디 어때 됐어. 뒤에가 나랑도 탐지야. 저다 제가 나처만한 왜 풀지야다. 나한테 진짜 간서선 인동도 오늘 보고 중에 시사물로 들어야 오니잖아. 뭐 된긴데 줄어서 탐지. 최근 밀람도 기마도 라시 레디레스. 다 띵원도 서버 제비 챗도 파고 나다 다루죠. 때딩은 이게 당한서 강이 비무고 있는 소리 랑이 줄라 샤비게 탑도 냠내게 샤비셔도 지고를 만디 제무자게 나시게 누르죠. 어떻게 메가지 팀마 단단 나랑서 탐지 니나 쇼트게나 니나 쇼트 맞지 때 밀람미고 거 출대요. 단단 나랑서 뒤 나와서 누구도 버쪽도 삼대를 막 그런 것도 좀 위험한 상기 점인데 소환하시네. 어디인가 맞춤신도 나한테 기도 아주 출발해서 그래. 이인가 출발 때 장이 맞출발 원도 그러고 그래. 너들 땡땡자로는 가서 믿다 나야 참만 제단이게. 이제서 가게 온본도 세는 법이란 술을 지식자. 나랑도 믿고 수통기 따라 통부도 딩고스미 세리 받성이 딩고스미 인지 죽도 믿고 통부도 암적인 거 라바를 기도 쓰고 그래. 양 답이 쓰고 하는 믿고 통기대 통기 한다고 말했어. 나랑서 통기 강한 통화대 양답하지 예마지도 산지기 습박한 거. 나랑 쪽에 암쪽으로 통기 강한 말다리 양답하이 산지기 되네. 무시기 되네. 그 인가 나tional conscious 그래봐. 뒤인두가 단단 나랑서 강한 난겐디 오니 나한테 오니 좀도 생기게 troubles. 뒤인두가 단단 생긴 나신 짐바 꼬야나 좀 맞죠. 짐바야나 좀 맞죠. 짐바 꼬야나 좀 맞죠 봐. 대대비게 딱 저기 당도 가라야 저기 당 오시 미미 담았을 때 대대비게 민바드네 상복이 빼나지 랑초 땅게야 라신데 맞죠 얘네 그 짐비게 오야 라신데 짐버치비게 율드시 라신데 맞죠 밀람다기마 대비게 땡고네 되네 우마신도게 따왔다 차게신도게 따왔다 조바신도 따왔다 때네 원엔 들을 줘 mi patinishi to na de je amge tangboji onege je semjela ya penchamo to rawa ya so jashibo to oya ni sanji go wango se ni la manwa chagaris dinje mai bi ngo tan zimba shu shenba shu je tange ngatu to je pugin je dan dun tam je pugin kansan dunji tam je debro to pulgi tam je ni shata ke lu debro to dinje sandina 무빈에 있어서 신지로 시작되어 되니 되게 되네 개와지 존에 개와 춘중도 첨부 요구 말했어 미바티네 상부가 쓰게는 신기 인도에게 쓰게 된디가라 규마케 상부가 되네 미바나신 거 규마케 상부 되게 상부다는 다 규마케 치료 타는 규마케 상이 좀 된데래 또 나래에도 쓰더니 공모사 가격 그 규마케 전부 때 상이 좀 되는 제스네 호랑이네 상이 좀 되는 챔피어리스
상이 좀 되는 챔피어
챔피어다 배규마 great
magician
magician the title the korea purpose 야 살아살이 인생이다
So there's a story to illustrates this. A story from Buddha's time. I think this happened in Rajgir, in the kingdom of Rajgir. So there was a magician called Zangpo in Tibetan, means like excellent one. And this magician was there were many magicians and say like apparitionists in those times, but he was like unsurpassed among all of them. He was unsurpassed. He was like the king of magicians. And he thought to himself, I really am my magical abilities are greater than anyone else's. I really am the king of magicians. I can trick anyone, kings, queens, ministers, no matter who they are and no matter how high they are, I can trick them with my magical skills. If I can trick Buddha Shakyamuni, the one known as Buddha Shakyamuni, who they say is omniscient, then for sure I really am an unsurpassed magician. I can really like ascend to give myself the title of King of Magicians. So he kind of took up this challenge, and he thought, okay, well, Buddha is said to be omniscient, so I will go and I will invite Buddha actually. I will invite Buddha with the wish to trick him, to create a magical kind of apparition in order to deceive him. So that's my plan. And it said that Buddha's omniscient. So when I go and invite him with this motivation, if he's omniscient, he'll see my motivation. He'll know what my plan is, and he won't accept, because to accept would be to kind of be embarrassed and lose face, right? So yeah, I'm going to go and test Buddha's omniscience by making this invitation to him. So off went this magician Zangpo to see Buddha, and he made this invitation to him. He said, Buddha, I'd like to invite you and your entire retinue. Buddha's retinue at the time numbered in the hundreds. There were maybe 500 or 600 disciples with him, of all the 4 classes, Shravakas, Partaker Buddhas, and so on. And he said, I want to invite you and your entire retinue to lunch. I would like to offer a banquet for all of you. Please come. And Buddha actually accepted. He said, okay, I'll come, we will all come. And the magician thought, well, there you go, Buddha's not omniscient, as everyone says. He obviously doesn't know what my plan is. He's accepted the invitation. So, because Zangpo's plan was to invite the Buddha and his followers, and to create this big apparition of a banquet and so on, have Buddha sit down in front of it all, but then when the time came for them to eat, to make it all disappear and then leave them all hungry. And actually, according to the monastic discipline, the Vinaya, monks are not to eat after noon. These days we eat at all times of day, but actually if you follow the monastic rules strictly, then monks can only eat up to noon, and after if they don't get to eat before noon, they have to wait till the following day and just stay hungry. So Zangpo's plan was to basically leave Buddha and his whole community hungry, and kind of embarrass them like this. So anyway, Buddha accepted, and Zangpo thought, well, he's certainly not omniscient, is he? And then anyway, the next day came around, and Zangpo prepared by emanating out with his magical powers an amazing display, an amazing apparition of open, beautiful lawns, beautiful lawns decorated exquisitely with an amazing banquet with foods of every possible kind, all sorts of food and drink, all beautifully decorated and arranged, with waiters and servants, and just the most lavishly arranged banquet with everything perfectly present. So he emanated out, he created this magical apparition. All the local people could see it as if it was really there. And then Buddha arrived. Buddha arrived with his retinue, and they all sat down in these magical seats that had been emanated. They sat down before the banquet, and they started to eat. So Zangpo's plan was was to have Buddha sit down in front of this apparition, and then the moment he started to eat, to retract the spell and make it all disappear right in front of him. So as Buddha started to eat, Zangpo casted the reverse spell, but nothing happened actually. All the food and the drink and everything that he displayed just stayed exactly as it is, and Zangpo was then didn't know what to do. He tried like every spell he knew, every incantation to make it disappear, but he just could not make it disappear. The whole thing just stayed exactly as it was. And not only that, but actually all the magical food and drink he'd arranged, which was really nothing more than a display. Buddha and his retinue somehow were eating it like it was real food. And the magician found himself kind of. So the Buddha had blessed the magical apparition to remain and to remain and stay. And of course Buddha's magical powers were much greater than the magician Zangpo's powers, so Buddha had managed to kind of override the magician's powers and made the whole apparition stay, and like I said, not just make the appearance stay, but actually transform the magical food into food that could really really be eaten and satiated. Normally this kind of magical apparition wouldn't function more than an appearance. It would be like the appearance of a banquet, but actually nothing you could really eat to fill your stomach. But Buddha had blessed it so that it remained and actually turned into real food that satisfied and filled the stomachs of the whole retinue, all of these hundreds of people. And no matter what the magician did, no matter what incantation he chanted, he just could not, he just wore himself out trying to get rid of the apparition, but no matter what he tried, he couldn't do it. So Buddha and his following, they enjoyed this great banquet. They were satisfied with all the food and drink, and then when they finished their meal, it came time to dedicate the merit. That's always what Buddha did. Whenever he would be offered a meal, at the end he would dedicate the merit, usually to the sponsor of the meal. He would recite sutras like the Three Heap Sutra and so on, and then make a dedication. So when they'd finished the meal and it came time to dedicating, Buddha chanted a dedication which went something like, both the offerer, both the magician Zangpo who made this offering, the gift that he gave, as well as us recipients. None of us are truly established. None of us truly exist, but are mere illusions. So in this way, I dedicate this illusory virtue to the magician Zangpo. So the magical offering made to magical recipients, made to the magical offering of a magical gift made magical offering made by a magical giver to magical recipients. I dedicate this magical virtue to the magician Zangpo. So Buddha dedicated the virtue in that way. And this is a story from Buddha's own time. The magician Zangpo had created this apparition with the motivation actually of kind of showing off his magical prowess and shaming Buddha in front of everyone. But actually Buddha had of course he was much more powerful, had managed to bless the whole illusion to make it kind of remain and actually like function as food and so on. And then after doing that, he dedicated the merit in this way and introduced the magician Zangpo to the truth, to the way things really are. So usually we think, in our limited understanding, we think that this kind of magical apparition created by like a magician like Zangpo, we understand that is like magical, just an illusion, not real. But still we think that the magician, the person creating the illusion, is real, and we perceiving it are real. So we only understand one limited aspect of illusion, of magical illusion. In actual fact, it's not just the magical apparition that doesn't truly exist. We also, the one creating the illusion, and we, the ones perceiving it, equally everything else, we are just as illusory as this magical apparition. So the only person who fully realized this was Buddha Shakyamuni, and realizing this, he dedicated the merit of the magician Zangpo's offering, as he did, saying, this magical offering presented by a magical offerer to magical recipients, I dedicate to you. If we fail to understand actually how all three spheres, subject, object, and subject, recipient, giver, subject, recipient, and object. So in the case of giving, giver, gift, and recipient are all equally illusory and lack true existence. If we lack that understanding, then the practice of severance will seem like just a childish game, actually, like some kind of conceptual game, and like the play of imagination, just pretending that we're some wisdom deity and imagining this and that. It really will be no more than like a kind of a childish conceptual game. But in actual fact, if we understand it correctly and we infuse this practice with an understanding, the excellent main part, which is namely an understanding of emptiness, how the three spheres do not exist in and of themselves, but are by nature illusory and dreamlike, then actually this practice of severance is a profound method that in every way is in accord with reality, with the true nature, with the true illusory nature of things, and is at the same time a very skillful means to manifest direct realization of that reality. In the King of Samadhi Sutra it says, to paraphrase, it says, if the perceptions of our five senses were valid and real, there would be no need for the path of noble ones, and there would be no Buddha's vision, Buddha's perception, Buddha's enlightened perception would be no different from ours. So if everything we saw, everything we perceive with our eyes, our ears, our nose, tactile, with touch and taste, if all of that is real and valid and exists just as we perceive it, as we experience it, and this after all seems to be what many scientists believe, that actually things do exist the way they're perceived. If that were really the case, then the path of noble ones, the path of noble ones taught by Buddha, would be completely futile, right? There's no need to train or to change anything if what we already perceive is valid and true. But that is not the case, right? Because actually what we perceiving things through our five senses as being real and true, is completely deluded perception that is not in accord with the way things really are. We think that things exist as they appear to us, and in actual fact they do not. we perceive things in a deluded, mistaken way. In reality, everything we perceive, and all the three spheres, subject, object, and action, that all aspects of our perception, do not exist in and of themselves. None of this is established or true. Rather, everything is, all appearances are illusory, just like the appearances of a dream. So, the practice of severance that we're concerned with here, this is, like, as I said, this is an extraordinarily skillful means to actualize understanding of this fact of the illusory nature of reality. So, if we can practice severance in this way, with understanding of the illusory nature of reality, and with real confidence in the view, because when we talk about the nature of things, we're talking about the view, right? So if we can practice severance with confidence and certainty in the view, whether it be the view as presented in Mahamudra, or Mahasandhi, the great perfection, or Madhyamaka, the great middle way, that will be the supreme severance practice, the very best and most beneficial kind of severance practice. It will really be of a way to significantly, truly benefit other sentient beings and lead ourselves and others to awakening. The benefit of that really, it will be extraordinary benefit and impact. Because, as I said, if we practice severance with a correct understanding, infused with the excellent main part, free of concepts, then the practice of severance itself is in accord with reality, and at the same time a very powerful means to actualize and further our recognition of that reality. On the other hand, though, if we practice the severance without that understanding, maintaining our fixation on things as being real, thinking that we, the giver, are real, the recipients are real, we're giving to like some truly existent demon or ghost and spirit that exists externally from me out there, what I'm giving is real flesh and blood or what have you, then actually our whole state of mind, the whole framework of the practice is in direct discord with reality. And it will be difficult for that kind of practice to be of much benefit. Even if it does bring about some virtue, it'll be a very minor virtue and really not of much benefit. So, rather we really need to understand the illusory nature of phenomena, just as Buddha did, and as Buddha illustrated in this meeting with the magician's uncle, and after which the magician's uncle offered the title that he was actually after, of greatest magician in the world. After his encounter with Buddha, he offered this title to Buddha, because Buddha is the greatest magician.